Hey, okay, guys, welcome back to the channel here. I just want to go over some stuff that Canada men's national team did in 2025. I was actually watching Footy Prime the other day, and they actually got to talking about, what would you grade Jesse Marsh's performance in 2025, and I thought that was a really neat idea. And actually, I had thought of something similar as well. But for me, I thought what would I grade the team? And basically what it comes down to is I would personally give the team a B plus because while it was a good year in a lot of ways, it was also like they had two chances to win a trophy and they didn't do it. First off, it started with Nations League. They had that chance to win that. I think they had a really good chance to win that. They went up against Mexico in the semifinals, and unfortunately, Mexico was able to step it up when Canada wasn't, and that's kind of an ongoing theme, I think, with Canada when it comes to games that really matter. They ended up going to the third place round game against the United States, where they won. They won that one 2-1, but they also lost Alphonso Davies to an injury, and there was a bit of drama, I guess, in the media with, or in public, I should say, with between his agent and Jesse Marsh. And then there was talk about Bayern Munich maybe like suing Canada Soccer. Like, it's just ridiculous, to be honest with you. Should he have played? Should he have not? Well, I mean, it's a tournament. Yeah, it's a third place game, but you still want to finish off as high as you can, particularly when you're going up against one of your main rivals, the United States. And at the end of the day, too, I think it's the onus is on Alphonso Davies to say, hey, listen, I don't feel that good. I kind of feel something here. I think I should sit this one out. Or if he's on the pitch and he starts to feel something, say, hey, man, hey, coach, something's happening here. I need to sit out. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with Marsh playing him, to be honest. And he seemed to get hurt in somewhat of an innocuous play. It was really weird. So anyway, a little more on that. They went on to play Ukraine in a friendly match. They won that one 4-2, gave up a couple of late goals, but honestly, it was a good performance. Anytime you beat a European team, when you're a CONCACAF team, I think it's a good day, personally. So I don't have a problem with the late goals. It would have been nice to get the clean sheet. They did, however, go up against Ivory Coast after that. They got a 0-0 draw that went to penalties because even though it was a friendly, it was part of a little Canadian tournament that Canada Soccer put together. Ivory Coast they're no slouches. They're a good team. So for Canada to go in there and get a 0-0 draw, again, another good result. It was a very even game. Now, after that, they went into the Gold Cup, where they started off really great. They went 6-0 against Honduras in that first game at BC Place. What an awesome game. It was so good. I think after that, everybody expected them to win it, or at least to be real serious contenders. But unfortunately, they followed that up with a disappointing 1-1 draw against Curacao. And it wasn't just that it was a 1-1 draw. It was just bad. It was a bad performance by a team, really disappointing. And then they followed that up with a 2-0 win over El Salvador. Yeah, that's great. You expect Canada to beat El Salvador, but at the same time, El Salvador did have a red card in that match. So yeah, I don't know. No offense to El Salvador. You expect them to win that game, and they did. Now, in saying that, the next match was also another match that they should have won, and they simply didn't. It was against Guatemala. That also finished off tied 1-1, but because it was, I believe, in the quarterfinals, they ended up having to go to penalties, and Guatemala won that one, if I recall correctly, 5-6. Yeah, 5-6 in penalties. So that was the end of their Gold Cup campaign. Disappointing end to that one. Again, they didn't play well against Guatemala. Jacob Schaffelberg with a really terrible red card. Just dumb, personally. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy, but just a dumb play. Needless. And even down to man, I think Canada is more than capable of beating Guatemala. Now, I'm Guatemalan myself. I was born there, but I've been in Canada since I was 6. So I'll root for both teams. And in that one, I was like, I'm good with whoever wins. But the reality is, I think I really wanted Canada to win that one more. And they didn't. So, and I follow Canada. I don't really follow Guatemala. Like, if I see that they're playing, I'm like, it'd be nice if they won. But, I do follow Canada. I watch every game. So, yeah. And they really, just disappointing. After that, they had a couple of friendlies in Europe. They went over to Romania. They beat Romania 3-0 in Romania. I think that's a good result. Anytime you beat a European team on home ground, I think it's a good day. Again, when you're a CONCACAF team, that is. And then they went into Wales, beat Wales 1-0 on a just absolutely spectacular goal from Derek Cornelius. Man, I really want to see them make more shots like that. Like those are the types of shots that or goals, I guess, whatever you want to call it, from that you'll see those elite European teams get. You'll see Germany go for that. You'll see France. You'll see England. You'll see Spain, Portugal, Italy. You'll see all those kind of teams going for those types of goals. It was outside of the penalty area, but Derek Cornelius got it over the wall in the net. Beautiful. And then they had their next international break. The first game was against Australia. They lost that game 1-0. They really should have won that game. They outplayed Australia. But a bit of an ongoing theme with Canada here is that they just have a hard time scoring. For whatever reason, they're guys that are capable of scoring with their clubs, just can't do it with Canada. Terrible giveaway by Nico Sigur. Ended up with a goal for Australia. That should have been a Canada win. Followed that up with a 0-0 draw against Colombia. Boring game, personally. There were some chances on both ends. If you're Colombian, you're disappointed with that one. If you're Canadian, you're disappointed with that one. It was just a bad game all around. Then they went up against Venezuela. Ended up winning that game 2-0. So they ended on a high note. Venezuela, CONMEBOL team. Anytime you beat a CONMEBOL team as a CONCACAF team, again, is a good day. But Venezuela's not the toughest opponent in that region. So yeah, that was the year. Again, I think defensively Canada is in a good place. I think their structure is so much better than what they had under Herdman. I thought Herdman he was a good guy, a good coach. He was the right guy at the right time for Canada. But I do think the team outgrew him. And under Marsh, they've grown so much. Their defensive tactics are so much better, and even their offensive tactics personally are much better. But they just have a hard time in that final third. So yeah, there were some good results there. But ultimately, like I said, they had 2 chances to lift the trophy, didn't do it. And they were, I don't know if favorites is really the right term, but they were definitely in the running to win either one of those 2 trophies. So that was the disappointment there. If they win one of those trophies, A+, but they didn't. And then towards the end of the year, like I said, just trouble scoring. Tanny Oluwaseyi, that guy frustrates me watching him play for Canada. Towards the end of the last few games there, I felt like I'd had enough, and I just wanted to see a little bit more of Promise David. As far as CANMNT players goes, guys that I've been watching, Alphonso Davies back from that injury. He just started again this month here in December for Bayern, so I think that's good news. That means he should have plenty of time to get back into a game form for the World Cup here in 6 months. Jonathan David, he's been struggling to start the season in Juventus, but he's last little bit he's here. I think he's had a couple of goals for them in the UEFA Champions League. Oluwaseyi, he's having a good season. 12 league matches so far. He's had 2 goals, and then he's had 5 Champions League matches and one goal in that competition. Buchanan, his teammate on both CANMNT and Villarreal. 15 matches, league matches, 5 goals, no goals in 5 UCL matches, but he's having a great year. Promise David, he's crushing it again over in Belgium. 16 games he's played, I believe, 8 goals, 1 assist in league competition. Now Ismail Kone, again, he's on the rise. He's a lot of fun to watch, and I think he's going to be a really big part of Team Canada going forward here for the next however many years. Yeah, Ismail Kone's playing for Sassuolo in Serie A. But yeah, 13 matches, 3 goals. He's having a great season. Kyle Larin, struggling. He's struggling. Yeah, he's been bouncing around teams, leagues. I don't think he's going to be a starter for Canada personally. I just don't see it. But he's going to be there. He'll be on the bench for sure. He'll be a sub. Got that. He's just a veteran presence and experience. I think he'll be there. But I just don't see him turning it around to the point where he's going to be a starter. There's too many guys that are just doing better than him. Stefano Stacchio, he needs to get out of Porto. Great player. Every time he's on the field for Canada, he's just, you can see his quality. And when he's off the field, you can see it. You can tell. Big difference. I mean, there's some guys that are up and coming and are good, but Stefano Stacchio, he's the guy there in that position. He needs to get out of Porto, though. He's just not getting enough play time. He's got 0 goals this season in both Liga Portugal and Europa League. Bombito, man, terrible. He's broke his leg, came back, broke his leg almost immediately. He's had surgery. It sucks because it's a long recovery, and the question is he going to be ready for the World Cup? He's definitely, I would think he'll be back playing before then, but how much playing is he going to get? Is he really going to get back into form? And to be honest, Alistair Johnston over in the Scottish Prem as well. He same thing. Well, similar. He hurt himself, came back. I think he made it 2 games before he injured his hamstring, and he's had surgery. Same thing. He's going to miss a lot of time. He's going to be back before the World Cup, but how much play time is he really going to get? And those are 2 guys you want in your lineup in a serious competition. They're so good on the back line. Canada's had some guys step up. You've had Luc de Fougerolles step up. You've had Alfie Jones came in. He played that one game. He looked really good. You could tell he's been playing at a high level for quite a long time. He's totally solid back there. Derek Cornelius, he made a move over to the Scottish Premier League as well. He's with the Rangers. I think he's got a goal so far in 7 appearances. Yeah, I think it's a good place for him. Yeah, overall, those are the main guys I've been watching. There's more players on this team. You can think of guys like Nico Segur. He's been fantastic for us. Richie Larea, like, how do you get him out of the lineup the way he's been playing? When Davies comes back, I don't know. I think you got to put Davies further up. Richie's just, he just creates so much havoc for the competition. My only problem with him is he gets a little too involved in all the little mind games, and just I feel like he's going to end up costing us a red card. He needs to tone it down. Now, going forward here, I don't know. They're going to have some friendly matches coming up before the World Cup. What we know about the World Cup is they're going to face Qatar and they're going to face Switzerland. We don't know who the third team is, I guess the 4th team in their group, but the third team that they'll face, we don't know who that's going to be. We know that there's going to be a playoff round. It's going to be Italy versus Northern Ireland. And the winner of that is going to play against the winner of Wales versus Bosnia-Herzegovina. I know Italy's not in the greatest form, but I expect them to beat Northern Ireland. And I do expect Wales to beat Bosnia-Herzegovina. Between Italy and Wales, you know what? I got to go Italy on this one. Although it would be fun to see Wales because, as I mentioned earlier here, Canada did play Wales in Wales. I do recall their manager was a little upset with Canada because Jesse Marsh and company were celebrating on the bench with like a minute or so left in the match, even though it was 1-0. Certainly not a runaway game here. So it would be kind of funny to watch. And he did say afterwards, he said, "Oh, I hope I see you in a World Cup." So it would be really funny to see that happen. How does Canada get out of that group? I'm going to say a win, a draw, and a loss. If they can do that, I think they get out of the group. I think they have to beat Qatar. That's the winnable game for sure. They're gonna have to do it. It'd be easy for me to say, well, they if they get a draw against Switzerland and they get a loss to Italy, but I think it could also be the other way around. They could get a draw against Italy and a loss to Switzerland, but I don't see them winning 2 games in this. So I think that's how it's gonna have to go. They're gonna have to get a win, a loss, and a draw. So anyway, that was 2025. It was a good year, not the greatest year, but not probably the best year Canada's ever had. Certainly one of the best anyway. So yeah, with that, if you like, please subscribe, hit like, and leave your comments below. How do you think Canada did? How would you grade the team? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the fans here think. If you want to follow along, I'm going to be covering CPL and I'm going to be covering Canadian MLS teams and also the Canadian men's national team. Big hockey guy too, so I might get into that, but definitely going to focus on football here. So stick around and let's see what else comes up. Happy New Year to all you. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys in the new year.